Genji is getting a ridiculous nerf. Just what the hell are Blizzard doing? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. Now, you may notice my voice is destroyed. This is because I have come down with COVID. I have managed to evade this thing for years, but it's finally got me. The last, 3 days, I've literally been bedridden, but I'm back today. I literally fired out of my bed as soon as I seen this, and I was like, what the hell are Blizzard doing? So let me break all of this down, because we've also got some news on where the hell Bastion and Torbjourn are, and also another map that's been removed from competitive. So let's start with Junkertown and Torbjourn and Bastion. So there's a post from the Overwatch community manager on the forums, and it basically says this: "Hiya folks, we have temporarily disabled Junkertown in all QQs due to a bug that was causing graphical performance issues. Our goal is to re-enable the map along with Torbjourn and Bastion with our next planned update on the 25th of October. Our apologies for any inconvenience." Okay, cool. So, I mean, Bastion's been out of the game for well over a week now. Pretty shocking. You got to ask yourself, if it was I don't know, Soldier or Mercy or, I don't know, Reinhardt, would you think Blizzard would leave them for a week before they fixed them? I don't know. But those heroes are coming back next week. Now, October the 25th is a funky date because this is the start of the Junkenstein's, I forget what it's called now, Revenge, whatever it's called, the new Junkenstein's event, Wrath of the Bride, I think it's called this year. But they're also going to introduce a mid-season patch. Now, these patch notes were leaked, and then the leaker said they're not real, but then we had Yiska, who reports for GG Recon, who is extremely reliable, then come out and say, no, they actually are legit, and these are the patch notes. So this is where things just get ridiculous. So Blizzard have sent these patch notes out to Overwatch League teams, but also apparently to T2 Overwatch professional teams. So these will be teams that play in Overwatch Contenders, and basically the divisions below Overwatch League. They went and leaked this to Yiska, went and leaked it on Twitter, then said it wasn't a leak, but we've since found out that through Yiska, this is legitimate. Now, these changes are massive because they'll completely change the way the game's played, and obviously the Overwatch League teams need to know about this before the Overwatch League playoffs start, so they get told in advance, even though they've only literally got a week to prepare for this, which is absolute insanity, and just kind of go to show that Blizzard don't really care about any kind of integrity in Overwatch League. They just want Overwatch League to be fun and to show the new heroes off because they want to use it as a marketing vehicle for the main game. So yeah, I mean, this has always been the case as well. There's always been radical patch notes and updates just before playoffs anyway, and it generally throws it into complete disarray. Anyway, these are the notes. They're crazy. So I think we need to start with Genji first. I do not agree with this at all. What I'm about to say here might sound mental, and it's probably going to sound crazy because my voice is destroyed, much like my mental is destroyed. But when Genji's in a good place and he's not overpowered, I think the game's actually quite good. Now, the thing with Genji is he really benefits from the new DPS passive. So when he gets an elimination, or he's involved in an elimination, or he just gets an elimination, basically, the passive kicks in. So he just moves faster and he's got faster reload. That helps Genji a ton. Now, and also the big thing is Genji, there's no stuns really in the game. You don't have Cassidy flashbang to just shut him down. You don't have a Brig shield bash to just shut him down. So Genji gets a lot of leeway to make plays. And if you guys watch my damage tier list from a couple of days ago, you will have remembered that I said I think Genji will start sliding down the power level as players start dealing with him better. And I've already noticed this in my games. At first, yeah, it was nano blades all over the place. Nobody could stop it. It was win after win after win. But as soon as players just start shooting the Genji, well, then he starts to die and he's not as effective. Because if Genji's dying in every fight, yeah, maybe he gets a nano blade once a round or twice a round or whatever. That's not enough to win the game. So you can deal with him. Blizzard, though, have decided to absolutely gut the hero. Now, this might not sound big on paper, but I'm telling you guys, this is a massive nerf. So Genji's maximum ammo has been reduced from 30 to 24. That is a big nerf. His shuriken damage has been reduced from 29 to 27. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but it's massive. So this nerf to Genji basically guts his viability. You're not going to be doing any damage as Genji. Now, this may be, and I think this is totally to offset the DPS passive, because if you get an elimination, it's almost like you will go back to the levels you used to be before you were nerfed, because he gets increased attack speed, although his ammunition is still lower. But this just means that Genji's been gutted, and I don't know whether you guys will agree with me here, but I don't think Genji was that problematic. I think he definitely was. At launch, it was like, what the hell? Genji's just killing everyone. But as a week went by, I think players started to get used to it. And honestly, I don't ever think the game's been bad when Genji has been like a meta hero. But throughout the history of Overwatch, Genji's only ever meta for a few weeks, and then he's completely nerfed into the ground. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below, but I'm really shocked that they've done this to Genji, because it's like, it is a bit of a hack job on the hero. So let's talk about Sombra. This is a hero that needs nerfing. And you know what? There's a hero that doesn't even get nerfed in these notes, and that hero is Sojourn, and she's the most OP DPS. So I don't know why Blizzard haven't nerfed her, but anyway, I'm going to end up putting myself back in bed if I start ranting about that just yet. But Sombra gets nerfed. Now, Sombra has been very annoying, very, very annoying. So her hack ability lockout duration has been reduced from 1.75 to 1.5 seconds. So you'll only lose your abilities for 1.5 seconds when you're hacked. Hacked enemies are no longer valid targets for hacking for the duration of the effect. That is massive, because if you play tank and you're against a Sombra and all it's doing is hacking you as the tank, it can hack you over and over and over again, constantly resetting the lockout duration, and so you can't use any abilities, and so you die. It was disgusting, it was broke. So that's a really nice change there. Hacked damage multiplier has been reduced from 40 to 25%. Now this is a complete reaction to Sombra's camping people in, well, it basically happens all the time on push, where Sombra would just get a kill, or maybe somebody else gets a kill. Sombra just goes invis, runs to the enemy spawn, waits for that enemy. If it's an enemy tank, it'd be more difficult to do this. But if it's a support or DPS, literally hack them and then kill them, because that 40% increased damage is massive at close range with Sombra. And that, you know, generally it would be like a support. So if you were doing it to a Zen or an Ana and you're camping them, you'll just kill them over and over again. It was terrible. So I do think this is a good change. That is definitely needed nerf. I just don't agree with that Genji one at all. Next up on the chopping block is Zarya. Again, this is needed, but I think this might be maybe a little bit too much again. I don't know, but I will admit that Zarya is really, really powerful. One way I know a hero is powerful is if I can play them and just dominate all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is broke. But anyway, Zarya, barrier duration reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds. That's actually really huge, really, really huge. Barrier cooldown increased from 10 to 11 seconds. Now that's going to be slightly annoying, but I think the big news here is that 0.5 seconds off the barrier duration is going to mean you get much less charge as Zarya. But it still means that if you barrier targets at the right time, you'll still get good charge. So this change will absolutely reward good Zarya play. And to be honest, that's the hallmark of a good balance change. So again, the Zarya one, I think this is kind of okay, and obviously I agree with the Sombra one. Finally, we've got Dva. Now, Dva, again, is very powerful at the highest levels of play. I think for me and you on the ladder, if you're not playing in GM, it doesn't really matter. You can play Dva, you can play Winston, you can even play Hammond, right? You just can't play Doomfist. But Diva is very powerful at the highest level of play. So if they want to change her power level for Overwatch League, then this does make sense. So Fusion Cannon spread increased from 3.5 to 3.75. This means you've got less focused damage, really. Damage will be spread over a large area, so it'll be more difficult to just constantly hit the, you know, the critical box or the headshot box on a target where a lot of damage is coming from. And also Booster's impact damage has been reduced from 25 to 15, and that is really significant, because if you think of the Diva combo, as she flies towards you, she's firing at you with a fusion cannons, she fires micro missiles, and then she slams into you. That 25 damage of hitting you is actually substantial when you add all the other damage up. So by nerfing fusion cannons, by increasing their spread, so you'll do less damage effectively, Booster impact less damage, it means that that assassination dive of a Diva is just less effective. And at the highest levels of play, good Diva players will just assassinate people over and over again. Now that's going to be much more difficult to do. So there we go, guys. Those are the patch notes. I think these are crazy. I think for hero balance changes, I really don't understand about Genji. Okay, Genji was kind of strong, but I think the game was getting to a place where players were dealing with him. But the crazy thing here is, where is the Sojourn change? Now, are Blizzard even playing their own game? Because Sojourn has an ability where she can one-shot literally everyone apart from a tank. That is crazy. She charges up that railgun, which is really easy to do because it charges up off everything, even spamming barriers. And then looking for that target and then just going for it. It doesn't matter if you miss, because you can just keep going again, charge it and fire again. It is so ridiculous. I think I've said before, Sojourn is basically a Widowmaker with dual ability and also massive mobility, and she's very hard to shut down. She can disengage, she can re-engage. Her ultimate just gives her rapid fire on a railgun, so she's crazy. At higher levels of play, which again is what makes this crazy. Because if Blizzard are balancing for Overwatch League here, why the hell ain't they nerfing Sojourn? Sojourn's in every game. Sojourn is like, she dominates. She just clicks on someone and kills them. It makes no sense. All right, guys, thank you for listening and watching to the video. Again, I apologize for my voice. I am now going back to bed to dream about what the hell Blizzard are doing for balance in this game. Hopefully, my voice will get better. I know it sounds rather extreme at the moment, but yeah, apart from my voice, I feel okay, which is a good thing. So, all right, guys, thank you for listening and watching the video. I best get out of here before I destroy what is left of my voice, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.